Hey everybody, it is Minisode time. I am especially excited for this one because I am starting the video portion of our podcast. Oh, look at me, look at me, look at me. I could have put makeup on, I could have done something to this face, but I did it. You know, it was just one of those things that you just kind of have to go for. You just do it. You know, I had the time, I have the space on my phone because the other camera's not set up yet. And I'm just sick of waiting, so I just want to do. So you will be able to see this video on our YouTube channel, which is live now. And then you'll also see it on Spotify, which is one of their new features that they have going there, which I think is pretty cool. So you'll be seeing more of my face and the coaches as well. It's difficult with the coaches because, well, Nicole lives in the same city as me, Nashville. Lindsay doesn't. So that's a massive, massive bummer. But sometimes I go visit her in Arkansas and we record there. So a couple of them will have to be virtual videos, but I think that will be okay. So if you want to, instead of just listening, you want to see my beautiful, literally unfiltered face, just go to YouTube and watch us there, which I think will be kind of cool. But so that's the big news. Also, for those of you who are following along in my journey of life, I am in a new apartment. I moved in with my boyfriend. My note says new boyfriend. He's not new. We've been together for 2 years now, I think. Officially, it's 2 years in July, but according to him and whatever date or timeline he has in his brain, it was a couple months ago. Who knows what he was actually going by, because I wasn't going by the same thing. Anyway, we're in a new apartment. It's a little echoey in here, so I haven't quite soundproofed or anything like that. Gotta get some curtains, gotta decorate. I just gotta make more money, y'all. I need a solid budget to get all the stuff that I want. You know how it is. Anyway, so that's exciting. It was done over the weekend, and I moved my entire apartment by myself, besides like the big stuff, like my couch and my bed. So I just wanted that to be like really fast, and then it was nice to like do that by myself. You know what I mean? Even though it was a lot of work, and I just fit whatever I could in my car and just go back and forth a bunch of times, but you know how it is, like, having to deal with other people. And especially if it's like your spouse or your partner, whatever, it really tests relationships. And we did get a little annoyed. I mean, we had to do some stuff together, but he had a friend who also brought a friend to help us, which was a huge godsend. And because I was just organizing stuff in the apartment while I was telling them where to go, it was really white lady of me. And if you can't tell, we are next to a very busy street. Well, that's annoying. Anyway, we're next to a very busy street, if you can't tell. So once I get curtains in here and some more little soundproofs, it'll sound better. But yeah, so that's the big news. I got a big pretty apartment with a cute awesome view of Nashville. I'm really excited, especially for 4th of July, my favorite holiday of the year for many reasons. But Nashville has some pretty epic fireworks, and I am pretty disappointed if I don't get to see them every year. So I have a direct eyesight line to them with this apartment. So I am super excited for that. Also, I think that's it for the news. We'll see. But yeah, so today I really wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff that I felt somewhat inspired by, some stuff that's been on my mind, on my heart lately. One of the things was I ran across this quote by someone that I have been following for quite some time. His name is Danny Silk. Probably haven't heard of him unless you're in the Christian community. He's a pastor at this church up in California, Bethel Church, and his stuff has been a part of my life for quite some time. He has great relationship stuff, great inspirational stuff like that, and it taught me a lot when I was younger, newly married back in those days, and to help me put more tools in my toolbox. But the quote that I ran across recently was responsibility, like separated, and it says it's the capacity to face any situation and make powerful choices that are consistent with who you say you are. And I loved this for our space because, the big thing in fitness and health and all that when you're starting along that journey is finding your why. Why do you want to do this? Finding your inspiration, finding your motivation, and really turning over this new leaf of life, right? And sometimes I feel that our whys aren't very reliable. A lot of our whys are going to be to lose weight, to be healthier, really generalized. It sounds superficial, but if that is like your thing, like don't let it sound negative. Oh, now you guys can see my kitty. Say hi, Jasmine. Don't rub that. Okay. All right. If you guys like cats, go to the YouTube video or YouTube page. Okay, but she's got to go. Where was I? Okay, so sometimes our whys aren't very reliable because they just haven't really hit us in the right spot. Like, I've done a lot of personal work in my past years that right now my why is the same thing. Like, I want to get to a healthier, better body weight. And but when I first started out, the thing that made me super successful, which if you know my story, you've heard this already, and I'll keep saying it 100 times over and over again for the course of the life of this podcast, which will be forever. My why when I first started, prior to that, I'd started, who knows how many times, like we all do, right? But I'd gotten to the point where I was really fed up, and I was really young, which I didn't feel young then. I feel like I had lived for so long and had tried everything and got discouraged and didn't have a lot of information provided to me as far as like what works and how to be successful. So I'd gotten so fed up at one point, just kind of knocking my head against like a brick wall, right? And I finally just, excuse me, kind of threw my hands in the air and said, I just really, honestly, I just want to do good and healthy things for my body. I want to live for a long time, and right up until, I die, literally, I want to die having fun, being on my feet, not in a lot of pain, hopefully. I am setting myself up for success right now, but sometimes you don't always know, right? But that's just kind of where I got to, was this point of just, I just want to do healthy things to myself. I want to feel better, sleep better, look better, and that is, very much an element of it. So because of that mindset shift, the decisions I made for my health and wellness were so much easier. I can't even begin to tell you that, like, I found a fitness thing that I thought was fun. Like, I'm not going to do something just to torture myself. Why would I do that? The class, it was a boxercise class, for those of you who know. It just sounded fun. I'm not going to pick something that sounds miserable. And of course, it's hard work, don't get me wrong. But the decisions I was making at this time of my life were about, let's have fun, let's do the things that I know are good for me, like drinking water, eating more fruits and vegetables, things like that. I still didn't have a lot of information. I wasn't very well educated still at this point. Especially, I didn't know what macros were at all. And I didn't know how many calories I was supposed to be eating, but I knew Whole30 was a good thing, so I did that for a little while and felt good with that. And it taught me better habits with, how to shop in the grocery store, what to look for on labels, things like that. So again, like I said, the way I was moving about my life was just in such a different mindset. It made my original why, which is was to lose weight, right? All of a sudden, that was just such a small element of my journey. Here she is again. No, my sweetie pie. She always likes to snuggle with me while I'm working, cuddle up in my little arms. Okay, where was I? Yeah, seriously, what was I saying? This is great. Anyway, the point to all this is that all of a sudden I had lost a bunch of weight and I didn't even know it. And it wasn't until people started making comments and compliments, things like that, where I realized, like, oh, these things that I'm doing are actually kind of working, believe it or not. It wasn't even perfect at that point either. And then basically from that point, I had that responsibility to be this person, because it's who I desire to be. It's who I, because it helps me live longer, because it helps me be healthier and in less pain and things like that. So I can now look forward to difficult situations. Well, no one looks forward to difficult situations, but you know what I mean. I can look and observe and experience these difficult situations or hurdles or roadblocks that I experience in my fitness journey now, and think back to that original mindset, that responsibility that I have for my health, for especially if and when I have children, to live a long time and to give them a good life and not be bedridden or in a cripplet little wheelchair. So now I am this person. This is who I am. But that doesn't mean I don't face challenges. I don't face lack of motivation. I still have all of that stuff, but it gets a lot easier to overcome those moments because I just have to remind myself again and again, Katelynn, who are you? Who is this person that you say you are? You want to talk the talk? You best be walking the walk. I sound like Lizzie. Sounds like something she would say. No, I used to say that all the time. Not so much recently. But anyway, yes. So when I do face these challenges that everybody experiences, it is so much easier to kind of just have that talk with myself to say, hey, not real motivated today, are we? Don't really feel like cooking that meal you said that you wanted to cook and that you already have logged. Well, what are you going to do? There are options, and I have been taught and coached on, changing things up and having that flexibility to still stay on track and do these things that I want to do, because that does happen, right? The weekend, oh my God, I think we all struggle on the weekends, right? Me most of all, I'll be honest. I am a huge extrovert, so is my boyfriend, and it's the best combo. Because we always agree on a date night, because everything always sounds fun, right? Pizza, yes. Wine, yes. Let's go to that bar, yes. Let's get this appetizer, yes. We are yes people, and it's created incredible memories. But the thing I have to remind myself of is, one, this person that I say that I am, I need to stick to it. I still am that fun, outgoing, vivacious person who can have fun in any situation, but understand that sometimes what is included in that fun, obviously, as we know, isn't always going to support us properly. And that is a new journey that I have been on the past couple of years in this coaching journey, if you will. And, everything, it all changes, right? We're all evolving. And it's actually kind of funny. Hi, Jasmine. It's actually kind of funny looking back in my early 20s, at that time of my life that I previously just talked about. I didn't really go out a lot. I'm still an extrovert. I didn't really drink at all. I really didn't start drinking until I was like 25, my mid-20s, when things got sad. No, it's like kind of crazy because things were like super sad and horrible from 20 to 24. But things got really hard in my mid-20s up until, how old am I? Up until 2020, really. Not that long ago. Oh my gosh. Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, back in my early 20s, I didn't drink a lot. I hardly ever went out. Well, I really didn't know a lot of people in Tennessee when I moved here, when I was 19. But, it was just such a different time in my life with the different problems that I had then. And now I have so many tools in my toolbox that I wish I had then. But now I have, unnecessary tools in my toolbox now. I always like using that analogy, like a garden. Like your life is a garden, right? And you're just kind of constantly pulling the weeds, because weeds are, even if you spray the weed eater and all that stuff, weeds are still gonna come up in your life no matter how on top of your shit you are. And that analogy really helps me as well to shoulder the burdens a lot easier, shoulder my problems, and to be able to deal with my problems in a, oh, Jasmine. Take 3. I'm sorry, sweetie, bye. Boy, does she distract me. Anyway, yes, so that analogy really helps me a lot when I also face problems and difficult situations, hurdles, whatever, that it's temporary. It will always work out. And I want you guys to remember all of this when you are going about anything in your life, not just this health and fitness journey that, I know you guys are on and want to be on, or whatever it is that you're experiencing. I really want to encourage you guys that if you are experiencing, lack of motivation, uncertainty, doubting or not trusting the process, or and just in general, a difficult time in your life, that, it'll pass. It might not be the hardest thing, but it might be the hardest thing that you have yet to experience. And I'm a type 8, right? For those of you who don't know the Enneagram, we're the challengers. So I don't want to challenge myself. Well, okay, I don't know if I should put it that way. I don't put myself in hard life situations on purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. But when I am in those things, this is the difference. Like when I am in those moments, in those tough times, I think, oh my gosh, this is actually kind of great, because think about how it's going to be after. Think about how much stronger I'm going to be after, the wisdom I'm going to gain from this, the advice I can give to other people who are going to go through something like that. Like think of like all the silver linings that you can see in your current situation, and that just makes it so much easier that, one, it's temporary. It will work out, honestly. Like that financial times that we all have been through, it will work out, right? Honestly. And I just really want this episode to be really encouraging to you guys, especially not just in life, but really with what we're all about here at the FitFem Project, bettering yourself from the inside out. And it is difficult, it's tough work, but again, looking at like how much better of a person you're going to be, even if your goals right now are just strictly health and fitness, which is great, because think about how I started. Think about how much longer you're gonna live, how much better you're gonna feel for a lot longer, and yeah, how good you're gonna look for a lot longer. And I think I read this somewhere, as you get older and you remain in a certain physique, a healthy physique, like the margins, like the percentage of you in that group gets smaller and smaller as you get older, because people just let go of themselves. And but yeah, so if you guys are doubting the process or just feeling uncertain or anything like that, there's always help out there. There's always resources. It will always work out, and you're making yourself stronger. You're making yourself a healthier person, a more tenacious person to get through these tough times, because it will continue to happen. You'll reach this goal. Let's say it's weight related, right? You reach this goal weight or whatever. I don't necessarily like having goal weights, but let's just say that's your thing. And you hit, I don't know, what's a goal weight women have? I don't know. Like 150 or whatever. And you get there and you think, hey, doctor says, coach says, or whatever, something says that you could probably to get to a better, healthier weight. Not just for aesthetic reasons, I want to point that out. That you get to that goal, then you're going to have a new set of challenges, right? Because your body's adapted, you've gotten stronger, you've gotten better habits, things like that, that you will now have to face. This next phase is going to be different, right? So just think about it that way in any times that you guys are experiencing. We're in the summer, guys. It's officially June, and I think that your physique and health and fitness goals are really on people's minds, and it is a lot more encouraging when the weather warms up, and it's a little more motivating. So take that motivation and run with it and devour it. Grind. I hate that, but you see what I'm saying. Just remember my words and feel my arms. Ouch. Feel my arms around you, giving you a hug during those tough times when you're doubting the process, when you don't know what to expect next, you don't know what to do next. Just know that it will always work out. And I really, really hope that takes the stress and burdens and anxieties off your shoulders, even just if it's just a little bit, that, yeah, it will work out. Tell yourself that every 30 seconds, man. Just like, I don't know if you guys watch Parks and Rec. That's one of my favorite shows. And Leslie was going through that, not deposition, but they were putting her on trial for her relationship with Ben, and she was trying to find evidence and things like that just to prove them wrong, right? And she went to Anne, her best friend. She goes, Anne, I need you to text me every 30 seconds that everything will be okay. Like, if you need somebody like that, just think of me in your brain. Ask someone to do that for you if you need it. Be vulnerable. That's all I care about. So I can't believe I talked that long without really taking a break. Sometimes I have to pause and like gather my thoughts, but maybe this video stuff is keeping me more accountable. But girl, I look pretty good. Yeah. All right, guys, as always, we love you. We're grateful for you. We need you. We need your support. We love your support. And thank you to all those who are giving it. And go to our Facebook page to be more engaged if you want to be more engaged on the podcast. I like to ask a lot of questions there. And I want to start reading stuff live. Well, to me it's live. To you it won't be, I guess. But I'm going to start posting more questions on there so that we can center episodes around those topics and just read off people's answers, or even if you have coaching questions, if you're not a client, or if it's something you want to ask your coach, because Lindsay will do it with me and then Nicole will do it with me, where hopefully we can start doing this soon, but we'll just ask those questions, or you can email them to us that's another thing that we'll probably do, is just you email your coaching questions to us and we'll just read them off, and Coach Nicole or Coach Lindsay will just kind of give their 2 cents, really. So that's going to be really exciting. So please pop onto the Facebook for that information if you want to start being more involved with the podcast. I would love that, because we love you and we want to be more connected. And isn't your heart just feeling so fuzzy right now, guys? Mine is. Anyway, happy Wednesday, happy hump day, and until next time, peace out.